ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So here we are seeing Mother Sati glorifying Lord Shiva in the great sacrificial assembly of her father Daksha. She has become very much aggrieved, very angry at her father, that her father has disrespected Lord Shiva. He has not invited Lord Shiva to the sacrifice. He has forbidden the offerings of oblations which customarily is supposed to be offered during such sacrifices. So all of these things are observed by Mother Sati, and she has become very angry towards her father. Now she is explaining the glories of her great husband Lord Shiva in front of her father. So here in this verse we are seeing Yad pada padmam mahatam manolibhir. Just by meditating on his feet, manolibhir, just like the mind, like the bees. The bees are attracted towards fragrant flowers. Likewise, devotees' mind are attracted towards, are drawn towards what? The lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Nisheditam brahma rasavatartivihi, rasa asavartivihi, rasa asava. Asava means nectar. Nisheditam brahma rasa. Those who are after brahma rasa, referring to Brahmananda, or the merging into the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Lord, such transcendentalists. And then lokasya, ordinary people whom we call as karmis, completely engrossed in fruitive activities, working for obtaining objects for their sense gratification. So such people, yad varshati chashisho arthinaha. For all of these categories, Lord Shiva's worship is beneficial. Lord Shiva benedicts all of these categories of people. Tasmai bhavan druhyati vishvabandhave. Lord Shiva is the friend of all living entities throughout the world. And you, my dear father, you have become envious of such a great personality who is friendly to every living entity, but you are the only one who have become so envious of Lord Shiva. Here we can see how the various qualities of Lord Shiva which are being expounded. First thing to note is Lord Shiva, known as Ashutosha, the big giver of benediction, very quickly. In one place, Prabhupada says how just by offering little bilva leaves, little Ganges water, that is sufficient for Lord Shiva. He becomes very pleased, and whatever the devotee asks, he will be ready to offer. So he is Ashutosha. And in Bhagavatam it is glorified. Nimnaganam yatha Ganga, then Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu, and Lord Vishnu Devatanam yatha Vishnu, Purananam idam tatha. The way among all the rivers flowing towards the sea, river Ganges is the best. Among all the Puranas, the Bhagavata Purana is the best. Among all worshipable deities, Lord Vishnu is the best. Similarly, among all devotees, among all Vaishnavas, Lord Shiva is the best. So this is the position of Lord Shiva, and also he is one among the Mahajanas who propagate the Bhagavata Dharma, one among the 12 Mahajanas. So, for such a personality, now this Daksha has become envious. So here we see 3 categories mentioned. All of these 3 categories of people are benefited by worshipping Lord Shiva. Which are those 3 categories mentioned here? First, the ordinary people or karmis. The second, the elevated souls, whom we may call as jnanis, who are interested in Brahmananda. And the third is the devotees. Lord Shiva is worshipable for all of these categories of people. Now if we question why or how, yes, that is the magnanimity, that is the super excellent position of Lord Shiva. Just like for the karmis, for ordinary people, they are interested in gaining some material benefits for their sense gratification. They are known as bubukshu. They want something, I want money, I want one bungalow, one car, one this thing, that thing. So many different kinds of material demands they have. Lord Shiva satisfies their desires also. That's why he is known as Ashutosha. Irrespective of what category or what they do with it, to the extent of, just like the story of Vikasura we have heard many times. He wanted a benediction that whoever, like he places his hand on top of one's head, his head should become separate from his trunk. And what to do? Lord Shiva benedicted him also. So likewise, Ravana, many such people we have seen. Very quickly, Lord Shiva is pleased and he offers them benediction. And then for mumukshu, or people who are interested in salvation, merging into the Brahman effulgence, who want Brahmananda, for them also Lord Shiva is worshipable. That's why we see in the outside world there are many so-called like the Mayavadis are there. They are very much interested in worshipping Lord Shiva than any other devata. The impersonalists, Mayavadis and all. Though they say ultimately Brahman is there, if at all it comes to some worship, they worship Lord Shiva, they are very much inclined towards Lord Shiva. Just because, like in the previous verse we saw Mother Sati telling, those who even utter the name Shiva, their spiritual journey begins. Aham Brahmasmi, they'll come to that realization that I am not the body, but I am spirit soul. Their spiritual journey begins just by even uttering the name of Lord Shiva. So all of these transcendentalists, they may not be elevated fully like the devotees, but still they are out of the bodily concept of life. They want salvation, they want liberation, merge into the Brahman effulgence, want Brahmananda. Even for such people, worshipping Lord Shiva is beneficial. And then, finally the devotees, the bhaktas, they also worship Lord Shiva. We have seen Lord Shiva, devotees worshipping Lord Shiva, especially in the holy dhamas. In Vrindavana, Lord Shiva is there as Kshetrapala. And wherever we see, like how Sanatana Goswami in Brajadhama, he used to perform his bhajana in various places. In many of those places we find even Lord Shiva also being worshipped, just like Bankandi Mahadev and Chakleshwar Mahadev near Govardhan, Mansi Ganga. So Lord Shiva is worshipped by devotees also. Lord Shiva, that famous story we have heard. One devotee wanted the best, best thing in the world. And he worships Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva, looking at his sincerity, his seriousness, really he wants something the best of the world. So he says, if at all you want the best item, you go to Sanatana Goswami. He will give you because he has got that. And finally he goes there and he was tested, and Sanatana Goswami initiated him to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the best thing what I can offer you. So likewise, devotees are also connected with Lord Shiva. And there is another incident in the Bhagavatam of the father of Maharaja Ambarish, Nabhaga. This Nabhaga goes to the Gurukula along with all of his brothers. And his brothers, they finish their education quickly and come back to their father's place and take back the kingdom of their father. But Nabhaga, he spent more time, to a lengthy period of time he spent in the Gurukula, and when he comes back to his father's place, to the palace, all his brothers, they have divided the kingdom amongst themselves and left nothing for Nabhaga. And he goes and asks them, where is my share of my father's property? And his brothers say, our father, he is your share, you take him. We have already divided the property. Your share is the father, you take him. And this Nabhaga, very sincere, straightforward person, he goes to the father and he says, my dear father, my brothers told that you are my share. The proper kingdom they have taken, it's their share, they have divided amongst themselves. And the father felt very sorry. Really, all your brothers, they have cheated you, telling that I am your share. I am not your share, I don't belong to you. Okay, what to do now? Still okay. Go to this one specific place. The descendants of Angira Muni, they'll be performing a sacrifice. They'll be beginning the sacrifice, and they'll spend some time here. You go there. On every 6th day, they are bound to commit some mistake in the performance of the yajna, that ritual. So you go and help them out, and they will whatever the remnants, they'll benedict you, and then they'll go back. So taking the instructions of his father, Nabhaga goes there, and as his father had directed, same thing happened. On the 6th day, they were struck, like worship of Vaishwadeva and chanting some mantras, and Nabhaga helped them out. And they were all very pleased with Nabhaga, and they finished their sacrifice and went back to the heavenly kingdoms. Before going, they left all the wealth, the remnants of the sacrifice there, and they told Nabhaga, you can take all of them. And Nabhaga was very happy that I can collect all the remnants, so much of wealth they have left for me, and he was happy with that. But when he was about to take them, one person comes there with dark complexion, and he stops him. You cannot take this share. It is mine. Nabhaga protests, no, my father told this is how, and the sages, they told that you can take this share. No, it is mine, I'll take it. No, you cannot take. All the shares of the sacrifice, the remnants, belongs to me. Go and check with your father if you want. Again, Nabhaga comes back to his father and asks his father. And then his father realizes it and says, yes, my dear son, actually all the remnants there, it belongs to Lord Shiva. So it is Lord Shiva who has come and who is asking for that share. You should give it to him. So again, Nabhaga comes back, offers obeisances to Lord Shiva. Yes, my father told that it all belongs to you. You kindly take it. Lord Shiva becomes completely happy with the dealings of Nabhaga. He says, no, this share I don't require. You take it, all this wealth. Along with this, I would like to give the transcendental knowledge, Brahma Jnana, also accepted. So in this way, Lord Shiva, you go and ask for some material benediction, he'll give you that also. You want Brahmananda, Brahma Sukha, he can give that also. And you want Brahma Jnana, true transcendental knowledge, that also will be given by Lord Shiva, as it happened in the case of Nabhaga. Similarly with the Prachetas also. The Prachetas, they also went for performing severe austerity. There again Lord Shiva appears and gives wonderful instructions. We find that in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Rudra Gita, filled with wonderful instructions glorifying the Supreme Lord and teaching how to render devotional service. So, if at all a devotee approaches Lord Shiva, he will be benedicted with devotional service. If at all a devotee wants it, so Lord Shiva has got it. So in this manner, Mother Sati is glorifying Lord Shiva, that though a person may be an ordinary person, a bubukshu wanting some material desire, or he is a mumukshu wanting salvation, or if he is a devotee, for all of these categories of people, Lord Shiva is worshipable. One more point let us cover here. To understand the position of Lord Shiva, especially for a devotee. Devotees means Sattvatas or Sadhu or Sadhavaha, we say. In the teachings of Lord Kapila to his mother Devahuti, Lord Kapila describes how to render devotional service. And the devotional service has to be rendered in the association of devotees, he says. Then Mother Devahuti asks, what are the qualities of such devotees whom we are supposed to associate with? Then Lord Kapila describes the qualities of a devotee. So there are many qualities he mentions in 3 verses. So let us see how all these qualities, if we apply to Lord Shiva possesses all of these wonderful qualities. Let us see one by one. 3 verses are there among them. The first one, Titikshava karunika suhrida sarvadehina ajata shatrava shanta sadhava sadhubhushana. First is a sadhava or a devotee is Titikshava, meaning he is tolerant. In case of Lord Shiva, we saw in the beginning of this entire episode, it started from the assembly of Daksha. When Lord Shiva, Brahma, they are seated, Daksha enters the assembly hall, and Lord Shiva does not stand up to receive him or show respect to him. And Daksha gets offended and he speaks out. He offends Lord Shiva by speaking so much in a negative way against Lord Shiva. But still, Lord Shiva exhibited this quality of tolerance. He did not become disturbed. Daksha, our offended Lord Shiva went out, and then Nandishwara, he cursed the Daksha and Brahmanas there, and Bhrugumuni, he counter-cursed. Like all these things were going on, Lord Shiva, he was tolerant and he just left that place. Though the offense was towards him, directed towards him, he was tolerant. He did not react to it. That is Titiksha. And then Karunika, Lord Shiva is very, very merciful. So merciful, so compassionate that he goes and resides with all kinds of lower species, the ghosts, hobgoblins, spirits, who are all they are rejected. But Lord Shiva, out of his unbounded compassion, mercy, he tries to elevate even such low species. He is Karunika. And then Sukrita Sarvadehina, he performs welfare activities for the benefit of all categories of people. During the churning of the ocean, the poison which came out, it was completely drunk by Lord Shiva, and he held it in his throat for the benefit of others. Suhridam Sarvadehina Ajata Shatravaha. He is friendly to everyone. He doesn't have any enemy. Mother Sati is telling here, he doesn't have any other enemy except for Daksha. And he is Shanta, peaceful. How he is peaceful, that also is explained. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. Lord Shiva is constantly meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord and is fully peaceful. Bhagavad Gita says this, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suyudam Sarvat Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Vricchati. So Lord Shiva is completely aware of the position of Lord Krishna or Vishnu, that he is the Bhoktara, he is the supreme controller, he is the real friend of all living entities. So in that sense, he is a very peaceful personality. Then in the next verse, okay, this is all how, through these things we will see how Lord Shiva, in that manner, he is the devotee of that category of that highest caliber. Likewise, more points are told by Lord Kapila. Mayi ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti ye dridham matkrite tyakta karmanaha tyakta svajana bandavaha. Who is a devotee? Who is a sadhava? Mayi ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti ye dridham. Ananyena bhavena, undeviatingly, devotees render devotional service unto the Supreme Lord lovingly, in an undeviated manner. And then, matkrite tyakta karmana, and for the purpose of satisfying the Lord, for the worship of the Supreme Lord, they are ready to give up all their prescribed duties also. And not just prescribed duties, tyakta svajana bandava. They are ready to give up their so-called relatives, svajana, bandava, everything they are ready to give up for the sake of the Supreme Lord. Lord instructs, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. So devotees are ready to give up anything and everything for the sake of the Supreme Lord. The translation is like this. Such a sadhu engages in staunch devotional service to the Lord without deviation. For the sake of the Lord, he renounces all other connections such as family relationships and friendly acquaintances within the world. So this we see in the case of Lord Shiva also. When Mother Sati, she wanted to go to her father's place. Lord Shiva, understanding the situation, that Daksha is very much envious of Lord Shiva and Mother Sati will not be able to bear that. So he gives a good counsel to her. But still, she doesn't heed to his request. Lord Shiva allows her to go. And Lord Shiva, just like Mother Sati, she is very much attached to her mother, sisters, her parental home. So that attachment is there. But such attachment we don't find in Lord Shiva. He is very peacefully situated in a detached manner. Then, last one. Madashraya kata vishtaha shrinvanti katayanti cha tapanti vividastapa naitan madgata chetasaha. So Lord Kapila is continuing to describe the qualities of a devotee. He says, Madashraya katham vishtaha. The devotees, they are under the shelter of the Supreme Lord. They take shelter. They accept the Supreme Lord as their only protector. Katham Rishta. They take shelter of constantly hearing the pastimes, the glories, the name, activities of the Supreme Lord. Shrinvanti kathayanti cha. They hear, they speak, they glorify. By doing this, what will happen? See, devotees, they take shelter of constantly hearing and chanting things connected with the Supreme Lord. By this, tapanti vividastapa na etan madgata chetasaha. Vividan tapa. This material world is full of miseries, different kinds of tapa, predominantly 3 in number we say. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika kleshas. Everyone in this material world, they are bound to being inflicted by these tapas or by these miserable conditions. But it is only the devotees who are saved, who are protected, who are not afflicted by these miserable conditions. Why? Why? Because they have taken shelter of constant glorification of the transcendental activities and name of the Supreme Lord. Engaged constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sadhus do not suffer from the material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities. So we find here Lord Shiva constantly meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, constantly chanting the names of Lord Rama within his mind. He instructs his wife, Mother Parvati, Sri Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varaname. He says, you want to hear 1,000 names, Sahasranama of Lord Vishnu, just chant one Ramanama. It is equivalent to chanting 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. See, all this philosophy, everything, Lord Shiva knows it perfectly and is perfectly situated on that platform. So, this is the position of Lord Shiva. Mother Sati, she, all these qualities she is enumerating now to make the assembly there, especially her father, to understand the position of Lord Shiva, and his envy towards Lord Shiva is not at all beneficial for him. Nobody can be envious towards a personality like Lord Shiva except for a person like Daksha. One more point covered by Srila Prabhupada in the purport is about Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. People, especially who are, we call like Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga. Even for those, like say Pravritti, who take up the practices of Dharma, following religious rituals, and Artha, economic development, and Kama, satisfying their senses, and finally Moksha, wanting liberation. Any of these people, whoever it may be, ultimately they are bound to be frustrated. The Bhagavatam clearly mentions that this so-called dharma of this Chaturvarga of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, this is Kaitava. It is only ultimately surrender to the Supreme Lord, rendering unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which is real dharma of the spirit soul. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti adokshati. Rendering devotional service to the Supreme Lord in an uninterrupted manner, causeless manner, unmotivated, uninterrupted. This is real dharma. So all of these things we can understand through these teachings of Mother Sati. So we'll conclude with this. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.